So, folks, the CEO of The Federalist went on Megyn Kelly's show the other day, and I just gotta say, said maybe the funniest series of words that I ever could have imagined, and simultaneously, like, this is hilarious, and also just like a really dark sign of the times. Here's exactly what I mean.
I never hear this conversation among people on the left anymore. They are not walking around worrying if somebody who's hopped up on hormones and trans surgery is going to try and kill them. This seems to be a threat that is completely isolated to those of us on the right.
I'm decided to resub just in time to let you know I recently voted in the MN primary.
Hell yeah, Dex! Welcome back. Thank you for voting.
And thank you for bringing it up. I never hear this conversation among people on the left anymore. They are not walking around worrying if somebody who's hopped up on hormones and trans surgery is going to try and kill them. This seems to be a threat that is completely isolated to those of us on the right. And thank you for bringing it up.
You live in terror that someone who's hopped up on hormones and trans surgeries is going to do a murder? Like one of the least likely to commit violence groups in America, like one of the smallest minorities in the country, and you're like, yes, those ones do all the murders. That's insane, right? And like part of me is just like, this is genuinely hilarious, right? There's a part of me where I'm like, yeah, this is cuckoo bananas. This is just absolutely like bonkers. Like, of course, everyone can see that guy is full of horse shit, right? And then I sit there and then I realize, turns out a lot of people in America are just going to go right straight along with that line of thought. They've been so detached from like the idea of empirical ideas or empirical data that this guy can just come along, say something absolutely bug fuck insane, and they'll just nod along with it. And that is deeply disturbing, you know? Because like what we're starting to see in far right circles is like a transition from, trans people are just like, mentally ill.
Jack, I live in constant fear that I will be gored through the pelvis by a rabid unicorn. Why do you not respect my totally rational fear?
Paladin Lost, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. And excellent question. I don't know why I don't cater my life around the idea that you may or may not be skewered by a rabid unicorn. But it's difficult because they've been untethered from reality and they're willing to go where this guy wants them to go. If they start mainstreaming these narratives that like, trans people aren't just like mentally ill, they're also incredibly dangerous. And like people who just don't believe in data anymore are just like, yeah, no, that feels true in my gut. I'm not going to double check it. I think a lot of people underestimate how many people exist out there who will never, ever, ever double check information. You know? And that's really fucking dangerous. That's really fucking dangerous. And it's what, in turn, spreads this bigotry. The more you've disconnected people from, a desire to validate information, the more you can just feed them whatever you want and push them towards more violence. Like the fact that they are feeling emboldened enough to say this on a mainstream conservative show is disturbing. The fact that the CEO of one of the most prominent conservative, magazines/websites in the country just straight up saying that he thinks trans people are murderers, effectively. And like, he's not going to get any pushback from that among anyone on the right. Like, it's a bit scary as somebody who belongs to this particular minority group. This is terrifying. And so, like, on the surface, I do want to take a moment and laugh at this like egg-headed moron who's like apparently just pissing himself walking down the street every day because he doesn't know who may or may not be trans murderers. You know? This guy's literally like out there pissing, shitting himself every day because, as one of the leaders of the "we can always tell" crowd, he can't always tell. And that makes existing so terrifying and burdensome for him. That's an insult to eggheads who are proud people. I don't know. It's literally shaped like the objectively perfect shape of an egg. You know?
I never hear this conversation among people on the left anymore. They are not walking around worrying if somebody who's hopped up on hormones and trans surgery is going to try and kill them. This seems to be a threat that is completely isolated to those of us on the right. And thank you for bringing it up.
Your likelihood of being murdered by a non-trans person is exponentially higher. Like, the crazy thing is, like, the chances of just being murdered by, like, a cisgender man is so much higher than being killed by, like, a trans person. Oh, yeah. I'm not worried about getting struck by lightning. I'm worried about getting struck by ball lightning, okay? I'm worried about getting struck by, some will-o'-the-wisps in a maelstrom. You know, that's the real threat when you're talking about lightning strikes. Just like, what are you talking about? That's inane nonsense, sir. But is it higher than a bear mauling him? That I could not say. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about the fact that, again, this is a crucial component in constructing a world in which everything makes conservatives scared. Every single thing that conservatives don't understand, they're terrified of. And the less they understand the world, the easier their fear is to manipulate. That's why conservative politicians love conservatism. It makes their base easier to control. And then all you have to do is systematically squeeze off the flow of information to them, make them incurious, destroy their educational curriculum. And then they're even easier to control. You can make them afraid of even closer to home things. And truly a terrifying sign of the times when people like this are just able to go out and be completely bigoted.
I'm not afraid of being struck by a lightning. I'm afraid of being killed by a cop as a black person.
That's a very plausible thing that could happen to you. And it's a genuine fear. Because also, you can't really control whether or not lightning is going to strike you. You can make it more or less statistically likely. But, you don't have control over other people's actions. And that's what makes other people terrifying. Anyway, if you got anything out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and consider leaving a comment. Let me know what you think about this man who's apparently terrified of trans people. And also, folks, join your local Dems, join your local DSA, get fucking organized, folks, because it is getting to be end of the road for the primary season. We're entering into the general midterm election season, and it is going to take all hands on deck if we want to win the House and the Senate, which is very doable here. But we need everyone to turn out as much as they can. So if you're interested in going to your first meetings and getting trained up and doing door knocking, etc., join our Discord, reach out to Gamergy for help organizing with your local DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help organizing with your local Dems. And just bear in mind, you can usually attend those meetings virtually if you don't have the ability to attend in person. And last but not least, folks, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes. Also tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy lingerie. That's non-tucking. Go check it out, ImogeneOlivia.com. Link down in the description. Let's keep on going.
Riverboat deck is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, dating, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.